Today I will discuss Apple's stock performance ahead of the iPhone 14 unveiling. So from macro, we want to switch to micro, or a company that might as well be macro, as well. We're talking about Apple, because we are watching that, of course, today. And that stock is not moving much. But of course, the iPhone maker is set to debut some of its new products at an event today that's out in Cupertino, its latest generation of hardware, including the iPhone 14, at its annual event. We're going to hear from Dan Howley out there a little bit later. Before we get into the news, I would like to welcome you to my channel. On this channel we look at the latest news surrounding Apple stocks. I would like to announce a giveaway I will be hosting. I will be giving away a $50 Amazon gift card, and all you have to do is subscribe and like the video and make sure you watch till the end of the video. Now let's get into the news. But Apple's also expected to give an official release date for its iOS 16 software. We may also get some updates, to some of its other products, including the watch. And the title of this event, by the way, is Far Out, which some have maybe interpreted to mean, maybe there will be some sort of satellite link-up or capability in some cases with some of its devices. So that's something to keep in mind, as well. Now, most of what I've seen has said these are not going to be revolutionary updates to its products. You're talking about incremental updates to things like memory, things like speed, things like the camera quality, as well. But whenever Apple has a refresh cycle, you see that uptick in demand here for its products. Yes. And we've been talking a lot about, and we're going to talk about more of some of the earnings that have been rolling in. And is this PC company? Is this cloud company? Is it as a harbinger of things to come? Well, Apple might as well be in its own asset class, might as well be its own sector. Can we go to the Wi-Fi Interactive? I just want to chart Apple. Year to date, we're seeing it down about 13%. I think a 1 year here is going to capture the highs. Now, Apple climbed within just spitting distance of its record highs from last year. And you can see this December, January into 2021. But really impressive here, in the face of all the declines that we saw, the Nasdaq was able to claw back maybe 25%. But meanwhile, the rally at Apple, I think, is telling. So bottom line, I've seen a lot of concerns about slowdowns in PC hardware, in consumer hardware, Android. But Apple is its own asset class. So we're to find out a little bit more about that today. And as we talk about that, while you have the Wi-Fi Interactive up, what stood out to me, too, is if you look at the Nasdaq 100 components and the so-called traditional FANG components, Apple is down, yes, 13% year to date, and that could be its first annual drop, by the way, since 2018. But it has outperformed the other FANG components. Meta is down over 50% this year, Amazon is down 24%, Google is down about 26%, Netflix is down more than 60% year to date. So on a relative basis, Apple has actually done better. On the days of these releases, the stock doesn't tend to perform well. If you look over the past decade, 7 of these launch dates with the big events have seen the stock decline. And it's not the event that it used to be, when you used to get these huge, big developments, big changes, big advancements in the iPhone and the other devices. So it doesn't have the same importance, but still, people are, obviously, watching this event. Yeah, I think so. And I just want to add real quick, those numbers that you were rattling off, those were year to date. And when we were looking up, that is down from their 52-week highs. So those numbers that I was looking at and on the screen, probably a little bit worse here for a lot of those. For its first in-person live event since 2019, Apple is likely to unveil some important flagship products. Despite this, the stock market appears to be relatively unmoved, and it turns out that is normal for the tech giant. The Far Out live event taking place on 7th September has been rumored to include the unveiling of multiple new products, including the iPhone 14. It will be the first live event since 2019 by Apple, with previous events taking place online while lockdown measures were enforced. Apple's shares have been sliding in recent sessions, with value down almost 7% in the past month, and based on share price impact of historic events, Far Out may not change the course of this downward trend. The current market decline is a reflection of the current global economy. This is being felt by other tech giants too, such as Google and Microsoft, whose products have been taken off the shopping list of many consumers as the cost of living continues to rise. The following are some examples of how stock prices have moved compared to S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 during past live events by Apple. In general, the Apple stock price has moved in line with the broader market after past events. This event was held on September 10, 2019. Apple Watch new series, iPhone 11 series and the most recent iPad were announced at the event. Held on 13 October, 2020, iPhone 12 series and HomePod mini were announced at this event. Apple unveiled a slate of new products on Wednesday, including the iPhone 14, iPhone 14 Plus and iPhone 14 Pro models, which feature larger displays, improved battery life and an upgraded camera with more advanced lenses. The company also introduced the completely redesigned Apple Watch Ultra, which is targeted toward outdoor sports enthusiasts and features a larger screen wrapped in a titanium case. Additionally, the company revealed its Apple Watch Series 8. New features include low power mode, which extends the battery life up to 36 hours from a single charge. However, new product launches have done little to move the company's stock price in the past, industry analysts tell CNBC. Meanwhile, shares typically rise after Apple reports earnings that beat the market's expectations. At the stock market open on September 7, Apple's shares were trading at $154.83 per share. That's down slightly from $157.96 per share at the close of trading on September 1. If you had invested $1,000 into Apple a year ago, you'd see a slight return on your investment and have about $1,000 as of September 6, 2022, according to CNBC's calculations. If you had invested $1,000 into Apple 5 years ago, your investment would be worth about $3,916 now, nearly tripling in value, according to CNBC's calculations. And if you had given your $1,000 investment a decade to grow, you'd have about $6,665 now, up nearly 540%, according to CNBC's calculations, which also factors in the company's various stock splits over the years. Apple's stock began trading publicly on December 12, 1980 at $22 per share. If you had invested $1,000 into the company during its early days, your investment would be worth $1.6 million as of September 6. Apple briefly became the first U.S. company to be valued at $3 trillion in January 2022. The tech giant was also the first publicly traded U.S. company to be valued at $1 trillion and $2 trillion. However, despite Apple's gains, it's important to note that a company's past performance can't be used to predict its potential success in the future. Given the volatility of the stock market, investing in individual stocks can be a risky financial move. Instead, a passive investment strategy tends to make sense for most investors. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed. I would appreciate it if you could subscribe and like the video, as it will help out the channel a lot. Make sure you do not forget to turn on notifications by pressing the bell icon so you do not miss the latest news surrounding Apple.